From the moment BTS set foot inside Incheon International Airport today, the atmosphere shifted instantly. What was supposed to be a routine arrival turned into a scene of overwhelming intensity. As thousands of fans flooded the terminal, cameras raised, voices echoing, emotions spilling over in waves. In the middle of that chaos stood one man who barely spoke, rarely looked back, yet controlled the entire situation with calm authority. That man was Mr. Lee. Dressed in black, masked, posture firm, and eyes constantly scanning, Mr. Lee positioned himself at the very front of the formation. While many bodyguards formed a tight perimeter around BTS, it was Mr. Lee who led the line, taking the first step forward, absorbing the pressure before it could reach the members. This was not accidental, this was strategy. Today's operation involved up to 15 bodyguards, a number that immediately caught the attention of fans and observers alike. The formation was precise. Some guarded the sides, some monitored the rear, others focused on spotting sudden movements in the crowd. But Mr. Lee remained at the forefront, acting as both shield and signal. Every movement of the team followed his lead. When he stopped, they stopped. When he advanced, they advanced together as one solid wall. As BTS moved through the terminal, the situation escalated rapidly. Fans surged forward, some pushed from behind, others trying to get closer for a glimpse, a photo, a moment. Despite repeated warnings and visible security lines, the crowd density increased to a dangerous level. Airport staff appeared tense, cameras shook, shouts overlapped. This was no longer simple excitement, it was a security risk. Mr. Lee's strategy became even more evident at this point. Instead of reacting emotionally or aggressively, he used controlled body positioning, firm gestures, and decisive steps to maintain distance. His arms were often extended not to attack but to create space, a fundamental principle in close protection security. Each motion was calculated, each second mattered. At one critical moment, a female fan wearing green clothing broke through the line and moved dangerously close, ignoring repeated verbal warnings and the clear physical barrier formed by security. The crowd behind her continued to push, increasing the risk not only to BTS but to herself. In that instant, Mr. Lee made a split-second decision. He stepped forward and physically pushed her back, not out of anger but out of necessity. The action was brief, firm, and controlled. There was no prolonged confrontation, no escalation. The purpose was clear: restore distance, re-establish order, and prevent a domino effect that could have caused injuries. Within seconds, the line was rebuilt and BTS continued moving. Some fans watching the video later reacted emotionally, but security experts and many seasoned armies immediately understood what had happened. In high-risk crowd situations, hesitation can be far more dangerous than action. Mr. Lee chose protection over popularity, safety over silence. Throughout the entire escort, Mr. Lee remained the first point of contact with the crowd. While other bodyguards shielded BTS members directly, he absorbed the chaos head-on. His presence alone deterred further breaches. Fans could be seen slowing down, stepping back, lowering their phones slightly, sensing the seriousness of the situation. What made this operation stand out was not force but coordination. The 15 bodyguards moved like a single organism. Hand signals replaced shouted commands. Eye contact replaced panic. When BTS paused, the security circle tightened. When they moved again, pathways opened just enough to allow safe passage. Despite the noise, despite the pressure, BTS members remained composed, a testament to how effectively the security team, led by Mr. Lee, controlled the environment. This level of protection does not happen by accident. It is built through experience, trust, and countless rehearsals. As the videos spread online, one message became increasingly clear among ARMY worldwide: thank you. Thank you for standing between BTS and danger. Thank you for enforcing rules when emotions ran too high. Thank you for choosing safety even when it meant being misunderstood. Many fans openly acknowledged that without Mr. Lee and his team, the situation could have ended very differently. Airports are not concert halls. They are not fan meetings. They are high-risk public spaces where one misstep can lead to serious harm. Mr. Lee's actions today were not about dominance. They were about responsibility. He did not seek attention, yet he became the focal point because he stood where it mattered most, at the front. ARMY has long spoken about protecting BTS emotionally, but today was a reminder that physical protection is just as crucial, and it requires professionals willing to make unpopular decisions in the moment. As BTS safely exited the terminal, the chaos slowly dissolved, leaving behind footage, discussions, and a deeper appreciation for the invisible work that allows idols to move safely through an unpredictable world. From today onward, many fans are calling for increased respect toward security staff, stricter adherence to airport rules, and a renewed understanding that loving BTS also means protecting them by following boundaries. Mr. Lee did not smile, he did not wave, he did not explain himself. He simply did his job and did it exceptionally well. And for that, ARMY owes him not criticism but gratitude. The tension did not end when BTS passed the first security line. In fact, that was only the beginning of what many insiders later described as the most carefully controlled airport escort in recent memory. As the group moved deeper into the terminal, the pressure from the crowd intensified, and this was exactly where Mr. Lee's strategy revealed its true depth. What most fans didn't realize at first was that the 15 bodyguards were not simply there for visibility. They were divided into silent roles. Some were tasked solely with reading crowd behavior, watching for sudden shifts, others focused on emergency exits, while 2 remained in constant communication with airport authorities. At the center of all this coordination stood Mr. Lee, making micro-decisions every few seconds without ever raising his voice. Witnesses later noticed something unusual. Even when the crowd grew louder, Mr. Lee never turned his back to the direction of pressure. He consistently positioned himself between BTS and the densest cluster of fans, even when it meant absorbing direct physical contact. This is a classic high-risk escort technique used only when the threat level is assessed as unpredictable. As BTS continued walking, phones rose higher, flashes flickered, and the sound of footsteps echoed chaotically across the polished airport floor. Some fans began calling out names, others shouted warnings to stop pushing. Yet the wave from behind kept moving forward. This was the exact scenario security teams fear most when even well-meaning fans lose control because of crowd momentum. At one point, the formation narrowed suddenly due to a structural bottleneck near the terminal doors. This was a dangerous moment. The space compressed, visibility dropped, and the noise peaked. Mr. Lee immediately adjusted the formation, signaling 2 bodyguards to tighten the left flank while another shifted to block a sudden opening on the right. The movement was seamless, almost invisible, but absolutely critical. This was also the moment when several fans later admitted they felt something was different. The atmosphere changed. The security presence felt heavier, more serious. People slowed down, some stepped back, not because they were told to, but because they sensed the situation had crossed a line. The incident involving the fan in green became a turning point. After she was pushed back, the message spread quickly through the crowd. The rules were no longer flexible. From that moment on, fewer fans attempted to break through. The pushing eased slightly. The formation stabilized. Behind the scenes, airport staff reportedly expressed relief. What could have turned into a full-scale security incident was contained within minutes. BTS continued forward without visible distress, shielded not just by bodies but by discipline. Fans who rewatched the footage later noticed another detail that sent chills through social media discussions. Mr. Lee never once looked toward the cameras. His focus never shifted. Even when the crowd shouted, even when flashes exploded inches away, his eyes stayed locked ahead. This was not a man reacting, this was a man anticipating. As BTS finally approached the exit zone, the noise began to fade, replaced by exhaustion and disbelief. Many fans realized only then how close the situation had been to spiraling out of control. What looked like chaos on the surface had actually been carefully managed pressure, controlled step by step. Online, reactions poured in. Some fans admitted they had underestimated how dangerous airport crowds could be, others openly apologized for moments when excitement overpowered judgment. A growing number of ARMY began calling Mr. Lee a silent shield, a protector who stood where no fan ever should. What makes today's incident linger in people's minds is not just what happened but what didn't happen. No member was injured. No panic stampede occurred. No emergency shutdown was required, and that absence of disaster speaks louder than any dramatic clip. From this moment forward, fans are looking at airport arrivals differently. The cheers feel heavier, the boundaries feel more necessary, and the figure at the front of the formation, calm, unyielding, unreadable, has become a symbol of something many had taken for granted. This was not just another BTS arrival. This was a reminder that behind every safe moment lies someone willing to step into the pressure first. And the question lingering now across fan communities is not about what Mr. Lee did, but how many unseen moments like this have already been prevented quietly before anyone ever noticed.